red stuff.
All right. Let me pull up
what's
my
up?
notes.
It's Rudy Wade.
That's literally what's about to happen. All right. Yo, what is going on, guys? Rudy Wade TCG back at it again with another video. And today I'm joined here with three guests. I got Zach Cooper, Noah BUJAK, and Jonathan CROXTON. So why don't you guys introduce yourself in the order Noah, Zach, then CROXTON.
What's up, boys? My name's Noah BUJAK, and this is my third competitive year playing Pokemon.
Hi, I'm Zach. This is my second Masters year playing. I have 164 points.
What's up? It's Jonathan CROXTON, aka #1 NA right now. Playing the
Wait, are you actually #1 NA?
Bruh!
Are you #1 NA?
After they update it, they haven't put in my recent coupling.
Nag 'em, clag 'em, body bag 'em, make the world believe a bad deck is really good.
Yeah, sorry
Alright.
about your cups. Actually, you're welcome for the free wins.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, what's going on with the cameras? All right, whatever.
On my
We're gonna
screen,
start it off.
was really big.
Everything on my end seems fine.
All right. If everything seems fine, I'm just gonna continue. So, to start it off, we're gonna talk about probably the most popular deck right now. I'd say Reshizard with ability. How do you guys think this deck is positioned going into Atlantic City? And do you think that it is better or worse than the Greens version? We'll go in the same order.
Alright, I definitely think Ability-Zard is way stronger than Greens. I feel like Green just does not have the capability to go nearly as fast, and it's much more restricted in its attacking options. Ability is, however, I don't really like either, just because I dislike Welder as a concept. It's obviously like really strong. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see it continue getting success, but I personally probably wouldn't play it.
I'll let CROXTON take this. I hate Reshizard. I hate Reshizard. It's an awful card. Welder's an awful card.
Alright, well, I play Greens. I definitely prefer it because it's not, let me move my phone. It's not Welder in the way, a Welder deck in the way that Mewtwo or Ability is, where you just, if you draw your Welders and your Fires in the right order, you're going to win. One thing I definitely don't like about Ability-Zard is it's very fragile. If you get Fire Crystals early, or all of your 1-prizers, or even just 2 Ninetales, the game is going to end. But at the same time, if you get your cards in the right order, it is the most powerful deck in format. Like I said, I play Greens. I definitely prefer it. It's more consistent, but less powerful.
So you think it's just a run hot deck, and they should pick it up if they are trying to run hot?
Ability is an excellent deck if you don't think you're very good at the game.
All right. All right.
Maybe I should try it sometime.
So, next up on the list is Pikarom, and we've seen builds with Judge and builds without Judge. Which build do you think is better, and do you think this deck is positioned well enough going into Atlantic City?
I actually think Pikarom is the best deck right now, even if it's not the most popular. I think you gotta play it with the Judges, because otherwise you can just let Welder and Greens go unchecked. I think Judge, it sacrifices a bit of your own consistency, but with your own Dedenes and Jirachis, you should be able to get out of your own Judge most of the time. And then just the ability to restrict hand sizes in the early game is way too powerful to pass up.
I've played the deck for a while, for 3 cups and 2 challenges, and I don't like it. I don't like any deck in this format, really, but I just think it's weak. I don't really think it has a good shot against Ability Reshizard. I've lost every game I've played against Ability Reshi.
Judge sucks. Don't put Judge in your deck.
Judge is broken.
Judge is only good half the time.
The only deck in format that like Judge is good against is Ability and Guardian. Greens and Guardian. And Greens isn't a popular deck, and Guardian the matchup will always come down to how many Lysander lives you have in your deck. So there's no reason to have Judge in your deck. You're trying to be like an out consistency, rush them down, hope you win with Tag Bolt kind of deck, and Judge just totally goes against that.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think the Judge is a little too greedy of a call to play in the deck. Okay, moving on to another extremely big deck right now that I've been seeing winning a lot of cups on Facebook is Malamar. Which variant of Malamar do you think is good, if the deck even is playable at all? I've heard a lot of people think the deck is hot garbage, which I agree with. But I want to hear what you guys have to say. What do you think about Malamar?
I'll start with this one, okay?
All right.
Well,
Playing Malamar makes me want to kill myself. Wow. Every game is just, you look at your hands and you, like, no matter how you order it, there's definitely a lot of skill with the sequencing, but a lot of your games are going to come down to how lucky you get in the first few turns. And then on top of that, its ability matchup is deceptively not that good. They don't have healing, but they have one prizers. They can kill your Malamars all the time. Stealthy Hood sucks. Don't put that in your deck either. But if you run hot, if you draw your NKs, pretty cool deck.
All right, we'll just go with Noah and Zach.
all right. I think Malamar is very poop. I don't know what else to say about it. It just like doesn't set up half the time, and even when it does, like it's 130 isn't that threatening. Like there's not much it can do. I just don't like it.
I think the deck's good if you draw well. It does take a lot of skill to where you have to put your damage and set up all your knockouts with spell tag. But
I think Malamar sets up every game. It's just very slow some games.
Yeah. I mean, you eventually set up most games.
So, Zach, do you think the deck is good?
I think it's okay.
You think it's okay?
I would play it if I didn't have any other options.
All right. Moving on to the next deck is Blacephalon GX. Do you think that this deck is big enough as to where Finny is needed? And do you think that Ninetales or Catchers is better to play in your build, if the deck's even good at all? Start with BUJAK.
The Blown is it's okay. It's not great. I think it just takes like its matchups against Pikarom and Ability Zard are deceptively close. It has a really bad Malamar matchup, which like even though I don't think Malamar is good, I know it will be popular. So Blown isn't the thing for me. But like if you run hot with it, then it can be worth playing. I also don't think Finny will be extremely popular, but you will probably run into it a little bit.
I mean, I think it's a solid deck. I think it has a lot of close matchups and has some matchups that are very hard for it, especially any deck that just kind of techs Feeny. But it has a lot of close matchups. It can beat Pika and Ability, and it's pretty bad against Mally.
Definitely bad against Malamar. Blondes is good. I don't think I would put Feeny in any deck that... I can't think of any deck that I would want to put Feeny in, but if you wanted to tip the matchup, you can. Like you guys said, it's a lot of your matchups are 50-50. It's going to come down to your B-string turn. As for Ninetales and Catchers, definitely pick Catchers. There's a
Definitely
reason
Catchers.
everybody has been putting Catchers in their deck.
Agree.
I would say if you're looking to play Blondes, probably do something pretty close to the list that got second at Worlds. Psychic Energy is actually really good. I thought it was bad for a while, but that can checkmate.
Yeah, I think I agree with every opinion here, except I think that you do have to realize that Finny is a thing if you're going to go in with the deck. I feel like
fact of Blacephalon GX.
Yeah, I feel like you honestly can't be mad if you run into like 5, because I feel like people are playing it.
You could definitely be mad about that.
I don't know. I feel like people are playing it a lot more now than they were
That's
at
true.
Worlds.
I do kind of
So-
laugh at my opponent.
I mean, if you
and
hit
I
quad tap,
discard it, and I'm not playing the Celeste one.
Yeah, Quad Tapu Fini. Go check out my post about me winning Atlantic City with eggs. Anyways, moving on to the next deck on this list is Mewbox. This deck has gotten extremely popular recently, and I've seen it about 100 times more than I've wanted to at Cups recently. Now, do you think the better build of this deck is with the Psychic Energy or the Rainbow Energy, and how good do you think this deck is right now, and do you think it's a solid call for AC?
I think I haven't actually had the chance to actually play around with Mewbox myself yet. I have played against it a little bit in tournament and beaten it every time with Pika, but like it definitely does seem like something that can give a lot of decks trouble just because of all the different options it has at any given time. And it's another deck that I think Malamar takes a good matchup to. I could be very wrong about that though. And again, I don't want to take a bad matchup to Malamar, even if the deck isn't that good. So yeah, it's definitely a good play.
I don't think it can beat Pika or Greens unless your opponent opens with 4 Volcania in their opening hand. But I think it can pretty solidly beat everything else. I think it has a pretty good Malamar matchup with Cross Division. And it's solid. I played it, got top 4 and second out of Cup with it, and it's pretty good.
Mewtwo is a good deck. Actually, most decks in this format are good. What you'll find is that everybody plays a deck for a while and then decides they hate and then move on to something else. But all of them are really fine. You can play what you want and you'll do fine. Mewtwo, as for like rainbows, I'm just going to defer to all the other people who have made the deck and had success with it. Rainbow Energy, the damage is too relevant. You want to be playing the Psychics. Also, Viridian Forest, searching them out. Apparently, Turbo Striking them is important. I don't know about that, but you can Turbo Strike onto Giratina, which is cute.
Psychic Energy all the way. Viridian is way too important to the deck.
Yeah.
And this is a question on Mewbox, is what do you think is the best, like, not as popular Mewbox tech to put in right now?
Like, against Mew?
No, in the deck. In the deck,
1
yeah.
Water Energy, 1 Mist Slash Greninja, or Muk Muk.
Muk sounds
All right.
correct.
Noah?
I like the Mewtwo. I forget what the ability is called. I think it's like Psy Report or something.
Mind
just, like,
Report. Yeah.
Mind Report? Okay.
To
'Cause I
put
just, like-
Welper back on top of your deck.
Yeah, just having like guaranteed for the next turn is really strong.
Okay, yeah. Sounds good. All right, moving on to the next deck. Just recently won Sheffield Regionals, I think. Let me double check. Yes, Guardian. This deck has been pretty controversial because it apparently cannot beat fire no matter what you do. So, yeah, what do you think about this deck going into AC? Do you think there's going to be too much fire for it to be a good call?
Excuse me if I get a bit heated with this one. I fucking hate Guardian because you play it and maybe you get lucky and you just dodge all the fires. Okay, good job. But almost everyone that plays it should be hitting at least 3 fire decks. And like I couldn't expect that deck to possibly do better than 5-3-1 unless you're just like a fucking like god with your matchups. But like yeah, all you're gonna do is like Grinch stupid shit and then get your tournament ended by fire. It's not a good call at all. It's just it's a big high roll.
I mean, you could play Crush.
Okay. What
I don't
happens,
think
Zach?
that's good. It draws very poorly. Just don't think it's good. If you hit the right matchups, it's fine, but I don't think there's any physical way to beat fire.
Yeah, Guardian is one of those unfortunate decks in the format where none of those games are interesting. All of your wins with that deck is going to be flipping super scoop up heads or locking somebody out of the game with Fairy Charm, or both. And
Or with Power Plant.
Yeah, my bad. Also Power Plant. Great. Magical Miracle. Wonderful. You know how I feel about the deck. I can't really say anything with polarizing matchups myself, but this format is very fun other than Guardian. Also, like, Fire is a very poor matchup for it, but no matchups are really unlosable. I would put it at like 80-20, maybe 70-30 Fire. But you can, as a Fire deck, you can still lose.
All right, moving on to this deck that I absolutely despise, but it's been getting really, really popular for whatever reason, even though I think it's god-awful. Nagquag.
Oh, Nagquag, boys!
All right.
Just give it to
what
Crocs.
do you
Hand it over to
think?
Croxton.
All right, Croxton, have at it, bud.
That Quack sucks.
What happened?
That, yeah, that's the end of my opinion on it.
Nagquag sucks. I think it's so bad. I don't understand why it's a thing right now, but I hate it so much.
People really like Quagsire and Weeper. They are adorable Pokemon. But it's not a good deck. They like the idea of knocking out Reshizards in one hit. And then they forget that all the Fire decks can do that back.
All right, BUJAK, what do you think?
One time, I went to a league challenge playing Pikarom, and I put 1 power plant in it, and then I went Tag Bolt, kill 2 Keldeos in 2 rounds. I think Nagquag is kind of poop. It's kind of like Malamar, but even more poop. It's like it just sucks. You don't have. It's like Malamar, but you need to set up like twice the stage 1s and have them can't be searched with treasure. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
It is really good for an unprepared metagame where Keldeo can just stomp people. That is it.
Nagquag is god awful.
Literally, the point of my deck for the Open was quad Keldeo with just a 4/4 line of Aqua Patch. Actually, an 8/8 line of Aqua Patch. So I could attack on after my first Keldeo died.
But I sat next to this man at the Open in round 7, and he was like, "I got the spice," and I'm like, "Oh fuck, what does your shock locking app have?" And then he flips over a Carpwhale, I think it was, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, bud."
That was such a great game. I was playing against Ability. We both passed with my Carp Lord active for like 4 or 5 turns, and I ended up winning.
All right, moving on from this disaster.
You're welcome.
What do we think about Dark Box? BUJAK?
I haven't been able to touch it that much. I played like a couple games on TCGO with it, and it just seems like it's lost on what it's trying to do. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I need to try it more. But, like, it just seems underwhelming.
I have no opinions on it. I have not touched it at all. Never played a single game with it.
I tested a lot of Dark Box going into Worlds, and the conclusion was there's just no way to make it consistent. So every time I lose to the deck, I get really tilted because how the fuck did you get double B string? How did you GX me? How did you get any energies in play in the first place? But the deck isn't that good. And there's a reason not many people play it. Also ridiculously expensive for how poor the deck is. Just a comment.
All right, and since you do happen to be on the Rudy Wade TCG channel, we're going to talk about Egg Rowlet. What do we feel about Egg Rowlet? I mean, you beat Nagquag. Let's.
Yes, you do.
I mean, what doesn't beat Nagquag though?
Greens. Actually, I'm in Swiss games. I'm 2-1 against Nagquag.
Meta manipulation noises.
I have an
All right,
epic
so what
deck.
do we think about Egg Rowlet?
All right. I have actually played that deck to a top. I got top 8 and lost to Abilities Ard 03. So that deck sucks. But it's not that bad. People think it's worse than it is, but it's not that good.
BUJAK?
I had a friend trying to build it, and like he made a really awful list because he was like half asleep, and then he like just played one game with it, and he just bodied some like dark box with between Levani and Choice Helmet. His damage dealt to him was reduced by 70. So then Black Lance was doing like no, he was getting hit by Weavile for 60, and he was like, "Yo, this deck's broken. I'm getting hit for 60," and then I great pot it. I'm like, "Okay, cool. Play against something relevant." And then he's like, "Yeah, I'll lose then." I don't think it has like the right tool. There's no reason to play it over Green Reshi.
I mean, CROXTON's list wasn't that bad, but
I have put a lot of testing into that deck. I will not lie.
Egg Rowlet?
Yeah. All right.
You're
Here's
insane.
the secret with this deck. All right. No leaks. Don't play any evolution cards in your deck. They make your deck worse.
Ooh.
Then put in 4 Power Plant, Judge, and Hope. If you play Weakness Guard Energy, I think you're favored versus green. No joke. But against ability, you're still going to lose because they have a million things that can one-shot you.
All right, that's a hot take from CROXTON. And yeah, we're going to move on to the last deck that we're going to be talking about today is just the overall control archetype. How do you think this is positioned going into AC? Do you think it's kind of more on the radar now because of what happened at Worlds? Or yeah, so take it away.
I want to talk about control. I think a lot of the control decks beat a lot of things, but they all seem like they lose to Malamar because none of them really have the ability to stand up to Cross Divide. They probably have a similar issue with Mew Mew in that respect, but I think like in a 50-minute scenario, they have the ability to win a game fairly easily against a lot of the meta. They also have a bit of an issue with Pikarom because Pikarom is so fast and has 0 aura for free retreat if they can like get rid of the power plants. And what else was I gonna say? Fuck. Yeah, I think that's about it. I want to say. Also, I implore everyone to check out this one.
no.
Wait, what is it? I can't see your screen.
Cryogonal Marie.
Cryogonal
Okay.
epic.
All right, now we got the control guy coming up next. Shedinja 117th at World, Zach Cooper. Here we go.
Shedinja's an awful deck. I'm never touching it again. Please do not play that deck. It's so bad. Never again. How did I go 6-2 day 1 of Worlds? This deck is awful.
That is cool.
Pidgeotto's okay. I actually don't dislike Pidgeotto. And then Poipole's god-awful, in my opinion. Do not touch Poipole.
All right, hot take. Moving on to CROXTON.
I would not play any control deck to AC just because of prizing. There's no way to get stuff out of your prizes, and all of those control decks have to play some 1-of decks for certain matchups. And guess what? If you prize those game 1 or even game 2, you're just going to lose. Or tie, and that's awful.
Or if you price Force Ninja around 1 of Worlds. If you price Force Ninja around 1 of Worlds, you also lose.
That is correct. You'd probably lose if you price 2 of them.
My Cryogonal list plays 0 1-ofs.
Good for you. Nobody's playing Cryogonal.
All right, moving on. What is the top 3 picks for Atlantic City? Here we go. BUJAK, take it away.
Pikarom with Judges, Ability Zard, Mew Mew.
All right.
It's something with Welder in it, something with Welder in it, and something with Welder in it.
I would say this top 5 decks going into Worlds, all good. That's not including Dark Box. All of the top 5 decks are good. Really play the one you're most comfortable with. Play it a lot, test it a lot, bring your perfect 60.
All right. Best rogue deck. Go ahead. All right. We know BUJAK's gonna say the Krag and all. So next.
No. It's actually not. It's a meme. I think the best rogue is most likely the Pidgeotto control.
That's not a rogue.
What do you mean? Yeah, it is.
Is that a rogue?
No.
Really?
Yeah, that's not a rogue. That's definitely not a rogue.
Okay,
This
then
is a bad
sure.
question because the best rogue is no leaks.
All right. Next, Zach Cooper.
Egg Rowlet.
All right, Croxton.
All right, I will also say Egg Rowlet. That deck has potential, but today is not its day.
All right. And last question would be, what deck do you advise not playing?
Guardian.
Guardian?
Ninja.
The Ninja? Nagquag?
Sure, Nagquag.
All right.
I think you're good at the
And
go play
Pikarom.
ability because then you're just rolling on whether or not you're going to draw Welder, and there will be many other players doing that who will not be as good as you.
All right. I guess that's going to wrap it up here. Do you guys want to give any shout outs? We'll go in the same order. Feel free. Go ahead and BUJAK.
Shout out to my team, Nightshade.
Is that it?
Yeah.
All right.
Shout out to Bart. Just because he asked for it.
There's a backstory there somewhere. You want to tell
No.
it? Okay. Shout out to NRG, my sponsor, and shout out Brett Burns.
Well, I also want to give a shout out to Joe.
Joe who? Turntine?
Nope, Joe Mama.
Oh. I'm going to shout out Joshua Sutherland. Shout out to Joshua Sutherland and shout out to my sponsor, Things and Stuff. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.